again. We're back. Thank God it's Monday. Maybe it's not Monday where you're watching from or when you're watching it, but 1 out of 7 chance. We'll see. It's Monday right now. Okay. The exercise today is Break CamelCase from Codewars.com, and it is a Java exercise. So flexing the little Java skills today. This one is on the simple side. The exercise is to complete the solution so that the function will break up camel casing using a space between words. And generally what camel casing is uppercasing uppercasing the first letter of each new word. It really is camel casing. And there's camel casing that'll start with an uppercase letter in the beginning, and there's camel casing that'll start with a lowercase letter in the beginning, and all subsequent first letters are uppercased. So like it could go something like this, where it's like uppercase to begin, and then the next word uppercased again. Or we could do where we start lowercase in the beginning, kind of like this one, and then uppercase each subsequent. There's a variation. But getting back to the idea of the exercise, what's supposed to be done is break up the camel casing, putting a space between words. So in the case of this one right here, where you have camel casing, of course the second word is camel cased, and the idea is to put a space there in between the words instead of having them be one word. We're breaking camel casing really by putting spaces in between the words instead of having the words joined together. The second example, we have a single word, and of course when you have a single word, you don't need to break it up. There's no camel casing here, so you just return that word as is. So it's going to be kind of a detection thing where we're going to be looking for uppercase letters in our string, and then if there's an uppercase letter, I'm going to insert a space, and then really I'm just going to insert a space, because after that the input ends up being the same. So that is how I'm going to approach this. Going over to the training area over here, or the solution area, I guess you could say. Got the method set up where input is going to be the string that needs to be uncamel cased. I'm going to first create a string to hold my uncamel cased output. So I'll call it this, uncamel cased. Make it equal to an empty string. I'm going to populate it with my changed string. And one of the simpler ways to do this, of course, you could use string builder and do some manipulation. I don't use string builder very much in Java, so I kind of do more of a manual way, where here I'm going to take the original string and I'm going to copy it to a new string, inserting the changes that I want as I copy. So it's like old string to new string, and then as I do the copying, I'll do the modification kind of in process. So to be able to copy from old string to new string, and uncamel cased will be the new string. Copying from old string to new string, I'm going to loop through or iterate through the old string character by character, and then copy over the pieces that I want, inserting things where I want to insert them. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good taken out of context, but it won't be. All right. looping, and so while I is less than input dot length, and this being a string in Java, length will have parentheses after it because the string length in Java is a method, so parentheses are there. I++. All right, so generally I'm just going to copy over a character from old string to new string, but there's going to be a difference where if I encounter an uppercase letter, I'm not just going to copy it over. I'm going to insert a space before it, then copy it over. So for each uppercase letter that I encounter, also for each uppercase letter that I encounter that is not the first uppercase letter in the entire string, I'm going to insert a space, then I'm going to put that character in. It is going to look like this. Conditional statement, I'm going to say if let's say, oh yeah, so I need to check for an uppercase letter, as I just said. So to be able to check for an uppercase letter, I'm going to use the isUppercase method of the character wrapper class. Character is uppercase, and going to use charat to get the character. Charat returns, it's a method that returns a character, so it fits right in. So if that character is uppercase, another condition will be if this character is not the first character in the entire string, because if the uppercase letter happens to be the first letter in the whole string, I am not going to insert a space in front of it, because that is not a camel casing situation. That is not a situation where I'll break camel casing. The first letter of the whole thing is not appropriate to insert the space, so I have to exclude that condition from my insertion, if that makes sense. No way it does make sense, but it makes sense to me. It may make sense once you see it in the code. So how I'm gonna not insert the space at the beginning is going to be an index check. If I am at index 0, which is the first character of the whole string, I am not going to insert the space. I ain't going to do it. So if I is not equal to 0, yeah, because 0 being the first index of this string, I'll do an else, I'll do an I will do an else. I'm going to leave this block open because else will, there's something going to be there. And no, it's not else. That is another language. Okay. If I'm not at the beginning, and the other thing, I am going to, whoops, I'm going to do my copying to this other string, concatenation really, and here's the space insertion. I'm going to do a space, then I'm going to concatenate, oops, the character at that spot. So I'm just, instead of copying over one character, I'm copying over two. One, the space insertion to break the camel casing, and then the uppercased character that really is the reason for the condition. All right, so that's done. And now I'm going to code for the condition of the normal condition where there's no uppercase. It's just a normal copy over or concatenate over. So I will drop it here and just grab the character. That's all that needs to be done here. Return that unCamelCased. This one is ready to ship, I believe. Do a quick check. Beautiful birds outside. All right, looks good. Clear out the drawing stuff and do the attempt. All right, attempt is good. The code looks good, and this is a viable solution. So try this one out yourself. See what you can do. See how much better than mine you can make it. There's a lot of better ways to do it. There's always a better way to do it in code. But with that, my time is done. So hope you enjoyed Break CamelCase. If you didn't, keep it moving. And I'll talk to you soon. Late.